Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's a bright and beautiful day, but get ready for the snow and the wind and all that kind of nonsense. Whiteouts, drifting. Come on. Maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be the last time we have to put up with this for this year. I sure hope so. And maybe Sunday will dawn a new day as we leap ahead. So don't forget to set your clocks ahead an hour, or you're going to be late for church. Okay, there's Berta's back with us today to look over my shoulder and make sure that what I say is true and honorable and respectful. Yeah, forget that. She's not going to watch over me doing that. But hey, let's get right on to it. This is First Thoughts on a Friday when we take a look at our gospel lesson and say, man, what's going on here? What is Jesus up to now? And what Jesus is up to now is showing a lot of emotion, if you will. Jesus has been on the way in the Gospel of Luke to Jerusalem ever since chapter 9. That's when he starts making that final trip toward Jerusalem. He doesn't get there until chapter 19. That's a long journey. And our text today is right in the middle of that. It's Luke 13. Verses 31 to 35. And this is when Jesus has been discussing things with the Pharisees. Now, let's keep this in mind. Jesus spent a lot of time with the Pharisees. Oh, he critiqued them, he criticized them, and he even got into some pretty heated discussions with them. But he also had dinner with them a lot. So it's not like he was anti-Pharisee. He was what are you doing teaching these crazy things? This is what God's kingdom is all about. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, especially as we look at this text, because here the Pharisees are coming and saying, hey, get out of here. Herod's out to kill you. So are they being helpful to Jesus, or are they setting him up for something else? Like there are those who think that they were telling Jesus, hey, get on to Jerusalem, like right now, because, hey, he would be out of Herod's territory, but he would be in their territory, meaning where the power seat of the Jewish realm rested, right there in the temple. So are there Pharisees who are getting tired of Jesus and what he has to say to them? Oh, probably. But are there those that followed him and cared for him? Yeah, we'll see that in the book of Acts, but that's another story. And remember, Luke, Acts is a work by the same author. So we see how in the book of Acts there are the Pharisees who, they became Jesus followers. Okay, but what's interesting that I found in here is there's a Greek word that appears 3 times. It's kind of like a wordplay that's going on, where it says the Pharisees said, get away from here, get away. Okay, that's a word in the Greek, the word go, get away. He said to them, no, you go and tell that fox Herod for me. and then he goes on to say, and the next day I must be on my way. Again, I have to go to Jerusalem. We miss that wordplay in our translations because we translate the Greek word for go in a couple different ways, just to make it a little more palatable in the English. But it's important because go. It's in there. And we see that what the Pharisees wanted Jesus to do as far as going is different than what he wanted to do as far as going, even though the destination was the same. It was Jerusalem. All right, so we have that going on. And I like that little talk about Herod being a fox. See, in rabbinic writing and even throughout the Bible, if you were called a fox, it was not a compliment. Let's put it that way. It was like, you're a sneaky little devil, you. Okay, so that's what he's saying to Herod. Hey, Herod had just murdered his cousin, John the Baptizer. Keep that in mind. Um, but why is Jesus going to Jerusalem? Well, because he said it's impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Oh, now we know there are prophets who were killed outside of Jerusalem, but for the most part, when you read the biblical history, we see the prophets doing their main prophecy in Jerusalem. That would be like someone speaking to the power seat of the U.S. government. Where would you do that? You do it in Washington, D.C. You did the same thing in Jerusalem when you're speaking to the power structure, which was the Sanhedrin, um, and and that would be the Jewish power structure. And a lot of them were in cahoots with the Romans because as long as they had a fine relationship with the Romans let them go and they could do whatever they want. Jesus is speaking against that. And part of what he is saying throughout his ministry is you're not doing what God has called you to do, which is take care of your people. Take care of your people. And instead, you're just falling victim to some pretty bad leadership. Okay, so we have that going on, and this is the first time in the rest of Luke. It's going to happen three other times where Jesus laments over Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. Now listen to this. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you weren't willing? Now Jesus is just about getting ready to cry here. The crying part comes in a few more chapters, just as he's getting ready to enter the temple and do a little bit of house cleaning, if you will. We'll get to that too, not today, but later. He does some house cleaning in the temple, and he cries. He cries for Jews, weeps over the city. And here he's lamenting, and he's saying, man, if I could just be like a hen. Now think about that. He just called Herod the fox. Now Jesus himself wants to be the mother hen, sweeping the chicks under her wings to protect them. What a powerful image that is. And we know that in a barnyard, that hen would be no match for the fox. No matter how much she wants to protect her brood, the fox is going to win out unless there's help from another source. But okay, so keep that image in mind as we read this text. But I want to go back just a couple of verses real quick because I think this is key to understanding a lot what's going on. Jesus, as he's saying, tell Herod that fox, I'm casting out demons and I'm performing cures today and tomorrow. And on the third day, I finish up. Casting out demons. Man, Jesus did a lot of demon casting out, especially in the Gospel of Luke. And there was an incident earlier where he cast out a demon whose name was Legion. Where do we hear that word elsewhere in our ancient writings? Oh, the Roman legions, those soldiers, that's how they were grouped in legions. Has Jesus come to speak against the power structure there as well as the power structure that had been set up by the Sanhedrin? Something to think about. And part of the lament here and elsewhere is Jesus looking ahead to the fact that Jerusalem would be destroyed, and they would in 70 A.D. Bad stuff ahead, Jerusalem, and that's why Jesus weeps for Jerusalem. Jerusalem, the city of God, the city of David. This is a powerful place to come and worship and to make your offerings before God and a lot of different things like that. And Jesus weeps, not here, but in a couple chapters. He'll be weeping over the city, but he laments here. Oh, if I could just be a mother hen sweeping you all under my wings and hopefully fending off that fox. There's a lot of things that are happening in this very short passage, but what it tells us is this: God never gives up on his people. Even that hen, as defenseless as it is against the fox, is going to protect the chicks. Even God, in the midst of all of our troubles, will be there to give us comfort and strength in the midst of the storm. Oh, and we can go on, and Jesus said, today and tomorrow I must be on my way in order, to do all these things. But on the third day, I'm trying to see exactly what it says here. I finish my work. On the third day, I finish my work. Resurrection talk. God's blessings be with you as you look at this passage. Again, it's Luke 13, verses 31 through 35, but read all around it as well. It helps you to set the context in which he's speaking, but also helps us to understand that immense love that Jesus has for God's chosen people. Blessings be with you.